For me, it started with neck pain and brain fog. Then it started working its way down my upper back into my lower back, and it was just a chronic achiness all the time. And then the brain fog got to the point to where I got really dumb. See, I was in chiropractic school at the time, and I got to where I just couldn't think. I would study for hours and I walk back and come back and I couldn't remember anything that I had been looking at. Then it started to roll over into my sleep. I wasn't sleeping well, waking up throughout the night, waking up tired, always fatigued. And then I started to get a chronic metal taste in my mouth. Like every time I brushed my teeth, my gums would bleed. And it turned out I had some sort of a virus. I had been to other chiropractors. I went to the doctors at the chiropractic college I was attending, and no one could help me. I just kept getting worse and worse, and my energy was drained, and the brain fog got so bad, I just didn't think I was going to be able to actually continue in school. So I got desperate. I met a guy at a seminar once who said he did this upper cervical work, and to me, my dad was a chiropractor, and I'm like, why only adjust one bone? There's 24 vertebra. No, why not do all of them? So it didn't really make a lot of sense to me. So finally, out of desperation, I called this guy and I'm like, hey, I'd like to come and see what you do, not telling him that I was desperate and just see, maybe I can learn something. So I drove an hour and a half down to his office. When I got there, he ran this little instrument up my neck that he said, okay, it shows there's definitely nerve pressure. Okay. Took some very specialized x-rays of the upper part of my neck. He made one correction to one bone at the very top of my neck, had me lay down for about 15 minutes, got me back up, ran this little instrument up my neck and said, okay, the pressure, nerve pressure that was there is gone. So you should be good to go. And I was like, wasn't really impressed. Right. So I left his office, drove an hour and a half back. About the time I got home, just all of a sudden, this wave of nausea hit me so hard before I could get from my car to my front door. And I wound up throwing up all over my front desk. I mean, my front porch. And I went into the house. I rinsed my mouth out, laid down in the bed, fully dressed, lights on, cussing him because before I was sick, but I wasn't sick, right? Woke up 12 hours later in the exact same position. I'd never done that in my life. Got up, brushed my teeth, no blood. First time in 6 months. That guy called me later. He's like, hey, yeah, I want to check on you, see how you did after your first upper cervical adjustment. And I was like, well, I don't think I'll be back. Before I was sick, but I wasn't sick, and he's like, that's perfect. I'm like, what are you talking about? He goes, well, think about it. He said, you obviously had some sort of a virus in your system. We adjusted, your body woke up, and what's the quickest exit, right? Out the front door. I was like, yeah, okay. Well, I didn't even tell him about brushing my teeth. Well, over the next few days, though, I noticed my whole body changed. My whole life changed. All of a sudden, range of motion improved. The headache was gone. My neck started to feel better, worked its way down to my back. My back started to feel better. So over the next few days, I'm like, there may be something to this. And then all of a sudden, my brain started kicking. Remember, I was studying and my study time started to get less and less. So I started going down and seeing that guy on a regular basis, not just to get checked and get adjusted when needed, which wasn't very often after the first one, but to learn. And I started watching him and I started listening to his patients and hearing their stories. And it was nothing like any chiropractic office I'd ever seen before. And again, like I said, my dad was a chiropractor. And so it was people coming in from driving hours and hours away with all these sicknesses and ailments that were getting better. I'm like, this is incredible. I've got to learn this. So that's why, but because I'm like you, I had something like this that totally changed my life, which in turn totally changed my direction, made my brain work better, which I think is absolutely important for everybody. But at the same time, my whole life changed. My digestion improved. My immune system got stronger. Even aches and pains I had that I blamed on old football injuries cleared up. I mean, it was such a dramatic change in me. I just figured I couldn't live with myself if I didn't share it with the world. That's how I became an upper cervical doctor. Love for you to experience the same thing I did, the life altering experience. Find an upper cervical doctor near you. If you're in the Charlotte area, give me a chance to check you and prove to you how you actually should be living, which is absolutely pain free and at full potential. Hope to meet you. Have a great day.